My name is Amelia, and it all began on what seemed like just another ordinary morning. I woke up, brewed my usual cup of coffee, and sat by the window watching the world go by. The birds were chirping, the sun was shining, but deep down, I couldn't shake this strange heaviness in my chest. It wasn't physical, it was like my soul knew something was coming. Still, I brushed it off and went about my day. I had work calls to make, errands to run, the usual hustle. Nothing felt out of place until I was walking to my car around noon. Out of nowhere, a sharp pain shot through my chest. It took my breath away. I gasped, clutching my heart, and before I could even think to call for help, my legs buckled. Everything around me blurred, voices in the distance growing faint. The next thing I knew, I was floating. Yes, floating above my body. I could see myself lying there on the ground, my face pale, my body still. People were rushing over, someone dialing for an ambulance. I should have felt scared, but instead, there was this strange peace, like everything was exactly as it should be. Then it happened. I felt pulled by something, a warm golden light that surrounded me. It wasn't just light, it was alive, wrapping me in a love so overwhelming it brought me to tears. Suddenly, I wasn't in my body anymore. I was somewhere else, somewhere indescribably beautiful. The air felt different, soft and comforting. Ahead of me was a path glowing and inviting. As I stepped forward, I saw figures bathed in light. They felt familiar, like old friends I hadn't met yet. Every step took me deeper into this realm of peace and love, and for the first time, I felt truly free. As I stepped deeper into the radiant realm, I found myself standing face to face with Jesus. His presence was indescribable, an overwhelming mix of love, peace, and light that seemed to flow through every part of me. The moment our eyes met, I knew he could see everything about me. Every joy, every pain, every doubt, every hidden corner of my soul was laid bare before him. For a moment, I felt exposed, vulnerable, even worried. What if he judged me? What if all my mistakes and failures were too much? But as he looked at me, those fears dissolved instantly. His gaze held nothing but love, unconditional, unwavering love. It wasn't the kind of love that comes with conditions or expectations. It was love that simply is. He smiled, and with that smile, it felt like every burden I had ever carried vanished. The pain, the regrets, the struggles, they were all gone, replaced by a peace so deep and profound that it brought tears to my eyes. I felt lighter than I had ever felt before, as if a lifetime of weight had been lifted in an instant. When he spoke, it was unlike anything I had ever experienced. His voice wasn't just a sound. It resonated within me, reaching parts of my soul I didn't even know existed. "You've carried so much," he said gently, "but you were never meant to carry it alone. You are loved beyond measure, and you always have been." Hearing those words unlocked something deep inside me. All the times I had doubted myself, all the moments I'd felt unworthy or insignificant, were washed away. I felt seen, not just as a person, but as a soul fully known and fully accepted. He reached out and took my hands in his. His touch was warm, gentle, and profoundly healing. It wasn't just a physical sensation. It was like he was touching the very core of who I am. "You've been chosen for a purpose," he said. "There's so much more ahead for you, and you're ready to embrace it." In that moment, everything made sense. All the questions, the struggles, and the doubts had led me here, to this moment of truth. For the first time, I understood what it truly meant to be loved and to have a purpose. As I stood there, feeling the love and peace radiating from Jesus, he gently took my hands in his. His touch was so tender, yet carried a weight of significance that I couldn't quite grasp. He gazed at my palms, with an expression of knowing, as if he saw something there I had never noticed. Then he smiled and looked into my eyes, and what he said next left me speechless. He pointed to the natural lines on my palms, forming the shape of an M. I had seen it before, of course, just a crease in my skin, I'd thought. But now Jesus revealed its true meaning. This mark, he said, tracing the lines with his finger, is not random. It is a sign, a reminder of your divine purpose and your connection to something far greater than yourself. I stared at my hands, trying to process his words. A part of me wanted to dismiss it as coincidence, but in his presence, there was no room for doubt. His voice was calm and reassuring as he continued, "The M stands for Messiah, a symbol of my presence within you. It's a mark carried by those who have been chosen for a special calling, a calling to bring light, love, and hope into the world." My heart raced as I tried to comprehend the significance of something I had always thought so ordinary. Jesus explained that many people carry this mark, though most go through life unaware of its meaning. "You are not alone," he said. "There are others like you, chosen to guide, heal, and bring faith to those in need. This mark is a constant reminder that you are never truly alone, that I am always with you." I couldn't help but feel overwhelmed. Why me? What made me worthy of such a purpose? He seemed to sense my thoughts and smiled gently. "It's not about being perfect," he said. "It's about your willingness to listen, to trust, and to share the gifts you've been given. Every challenge you've faced, every doubt you've overcome, has prepared you for this." He went on to describe how people with this mark often feel an inner pull toward helping others, even if they don't understand why. "You've felt it, haven't you?" he asked. "That desire to comfort, to guide, to bring hope even in the darkest times. That's not by accident. It's the mark working within you, calling you to step into your purpose." As he spoke, I reflected on my life, the times I had instinctively reached out to others, the moments when I felt compelled to be a source of strength for those around me. It all started to make sense. This mark wasn't just a crease in my skin. It was a divine signature, a reminder that my life had meaning beyond what I could see. "You've been chosen," Jesus said, his voice full of kindness and certainty. "Not because you're perfect, but because you're willing. The world needs people like you, people who can carry my light and share it with those who have lost their way. Trust in the mark, trust in yourself, and trust in me. Together, we will accomplish great things." In that moment, I felt a profound sense of purpose. The mark wasn't just a physical symbol, it was a connection to something far greater than myself. And for the first time, I truly believed I was ready to embrace it. As I stood in the glow of his presence, everything around me seemed to fade, leaving only a deep stillness and clarity. Then, something incredible began to happen. It was as if a window had opened, revealing vivid scenes that played out in front of me like a movie. I saw my life, but not just the life I had known. I saw it from a perspective I had never imagined. The first vision was of my past. Moments of joy, sadness, triumph, and heartbreak appeared before me in flashes, each one stirring emotions I thought I had long buried. I saw myself as a child, full of innocence and wonder, but also moments of loneliness and confusion as I grew. I saw my teenage years filled with searching for meaning, for love, for something to hold on to when life felt unstable. But here's what amazed me. Even in the darkest moments, I could see that I was never alone. Through every tear, every doubt, there was always a quiet presence with me, guiding me, even when I didn't realize it. I saw moments I had dismissed as insignificant suddenly take on new meaning. Every heartbreak, every trial, every struggle had been shaping me, preparing me for something greater. Then, the vision shifted. I was no longer looking at my past, but at what was yet to come. I saw myself standing in front of large groups of people, sharing my story with a passion and conviction I had never felt before. The faces in the crowd weren't just listening, they were transformed. I could see their burdens lifting, their hearts opening, as if they were finally finding the hope they had been searching for. I saw myself comforting a woman who had lost everything simply by listening to her story and reminding her that she was never alone. I saw a young man struggling with his faith, whose eyes lit up with new understanding after a single conversation. These weren't grand, sweeping acts. They were small, personal moments that carried immense weight. As I watched, I began to understand that my struggles hadn't been random. They had been part of a divine plan, shaping me into someone who could empathize, who could connect, who could help others in their own moments of darkness. Every pain I had endured, every challenge I had overcome, had been preparing me to be a guide and a healer. Jesus' voice broke through my thoughts, gentle and reassuring. "Do you see now?" he asked. "Your life has always had purpose. Every experience, no matter how difficult, has been leading you to this moment. You are meant to bring faith and hope to others, to remind them of the light within them." I felt tears streaming down my face as I watched these visions. For so long, I had doubted my worth, questioned whether I was making any difference in the world. But here, in this moment, I saw the truth. My life wasn't just about me. It was about the people I could touch, the hearts I could heal. I realized that my destiny wasn't something I needed to chase. It was already within me, waiting for me to step into it. The visions faded, but the feeling they left behind didn't. For the first time, I saw my struggles as gifts, my pain as preparation. I understood that my purpose wasn't just to live, it was to help others find the light just as I had. As I stood there, surrounded by the divine warmth and light, Jesus spoke again, his words resonating deep within me. "You're not alone in this," he said, his voice filled with love and reassurance. "There are many like you, people who carry the same M mark, chosen for a mission far greater than themselves." I listened intently as he began to explain. This world, though beautiful, is often overshadowed by darkness, fear, pain, doubt, and hopelessness. Yet within it, I have placed beacons of light, reminders of my presence. Those who carry the M mark have been chosen to bring love, faith, and light to the world. They are not just ordinary, they are part of a greater plan. It was humbling to hear these words, and I felt an overwhelming sense of responsibility. He continued, "Many of these people go through life unaware of the potential they hold. They question their worth, dismiss their instincts to help others, and underestimate the power of their actions. But their mark is no coincidence. It's a sign, a divine reminder of the mission they carry. They are meant to be healers, encouragers, and bringers of hope." His words painted a vivid picture in my mind. I could see countless individuals, each living their own unique lives, quietly impacting the world in ways they didn't even realize. Some were comforting the grieving, others were lending a helping hand to those in need, and many more were simply spreading kindness in their daily interactions. It wasn't about grand gestures or extraordinary talents. It was about living with love and intention. "You see," Jesus said, "this mission isn't about perfection or being without flaws. It's about showing up as you are, allowing my light to shine through your imperfections. The world doesn't need perfect people. It needs people who care, who listen, who are willing to stand in the gap for others." I thought about how often we, as humans, doubt ourselves. We convince ourselves that we're not good enough, that our efforts don't matter. But Jesus' words shattered that lie. Every act of love, no matter how small, creates a ripple that extends far beyond what you can see. Smiling at a stranger, offering encouragement, or simply being present for someone in pain. These are the acts that change the world. He looked at me with an intensity that made my heart swell. Your mission, and the mission of those like you, is to remind others that they are never alone, to bring light to their darkest moments, and to show them that love, my love, is always with them. You are called to awaken those who carry this mark and help them see their purpose. I felt the weight of his words, but not in a burdensome way. It was a calling that felt natural, as if I had always known this deep down. I understood that this mission wasn't just about me. It was about inspiring others to recognize the light within themselves. Together, we could push back the darkness, one act of love at a time. As we moved further along, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace, unlike anything I had ever known. I was no longer standing in a place of uncertainty and confusion. Instead, I was surrounded by a beauty that surpassed anything I could imagine. Everything was alive with light, light that radiated warmth, love, and an overwhelming sense of belonging. The colors were not like anything I had seen on earth. They were vibrant and alive, shimmering in ways that touched my soul deeply. Jesus led me through this sacred space where I could see souls in their purest form, glowing with love and grace. They moved gracefully, and their faces reflected a deep, unshakable peace. It was clear that every soul had found its place in this divine existence, and there was no rush, no worry. There was only an eternal stillness that spoke of complete understanding. I remember asking, how is this possible? How can everything be so perfect, so radiant? Jesus smiled gently, as though he had been waiting for me to ask. This is heaven, he explained, a place where all souls find their true form, a place where all creation is interconnected in divine harmony. Here, there is no pain, no fear, no division. Every soul is part of the greater whole. I gazed around in awe as I took in the infinite beauty of the place. There were fields of golden light stretching far beyond what I could see, and towering trees whose leaves shimmered like diamonds. The air was thick with love, and it felt as though every breath I took filled me with peace and joy. It was as though all the chaos and confusion of the world I had known had melted away, replaced by a profound sense of unity. As we walked, I noticed a few souls approaching us. They seemed to be waiting for something, and as they came closer, I could feel their energy, a soft but powerful presence. One soul, a woman who radiated wisdom, smiled at me and shared her story. I was once lost, she said, just like you. I doubted, I feared, but I never let go of my faith. And now, here I am, at peace, fully embraced in love. Her words struck me deeply. I realized that heaven wasn't just a place of beauty. It was a place where souls had found their purpose, their truth, and where they were free from the struggles that had once held them back. Every person I met had a story, stories of struggles, of doubt, of perseverance. But in heaven, those stories had all led to this moment of peace, this understanding that love is the key to it all. Another soul, a young man, shared his journey with me. I lived my life helping others, never expecting anything in return, he said. It was in the smallest acts of kindness that I found my true purpose. His words resonated deeply with me. In that moment, I understood the power of simple kindness and the impact it has on the lives of others. As we continued, I saw children, their laughter echoing through the air. Their joy was so pure, so untainted by fear or doubt. They reminded me of the importance of trust and love. Their innocence was a testament to the goodness that exists in all of us, a reminder that faith is the foundation of everything in this divine realm. Through these encounters, I came to realize that the true beauty of heaven wasn't just in the radiant colors or the perfect serenity. It was in the interconnectedness of all souls, each one carrying its unique story, but all united by love, faith, and kindness. It was a place where everyone had found their truth, where they understood the value of their journey and how every step, no matter how difficult, led them to this divine destination. As I stood there, taking in the endless beauty of heaven, I felt a deep sense of belonging. It was as if everything in me finally understood why I had been born. Every step, every experience had led me here, to a place of peace, love, and ultimate clarity. I wanted nothing more than to remain in this sacred space where there was no pain, no doubt, just the purest form of existence. But as I stood there, my heart filled with peace, I knew something important was yet to come. Jesus looked at me with such compassion and understanding. "Amelia," he said softly, "your time here is precious, but your mission on earth is not yet finished." A part of me resisted. I didn't want to leave the serenity and light of this place. Heaven felt like home in a way that nothing else ever had. I felt safe, whole, and unburdened by the weight of the world. Yet there was something in Jesus' voice, something in his gaze, that made me understand that I had a greater purpose to fulfill. "Your work is not done, Amelia," he continued. "You have seen the light, and now you must carry that light back to the world that needs it. Your mission is to help awaken others to their divine purpose. You are meant to guide them, to show them that they are not alone, and that they, too, have a special role to play in this vast universe." A wave of responsibility washed over me. I had always felt small and insignificant, questioning my purpose in life. Now, standing before Jesus, I understood that I had been chosen for something much greater than I had ever imagined. The M mark on my hands, the divine calling, was not just for me. It was a sign of the many souls on earth who were also chosen but unaware of their true purpose. "You will be a beacon of love, Amelia," Jesus told me. "In the world that is often filled with darkness, you will shine as a light of faith, hope, and love. You will remind others of their worth, their divine purpose. You will awaken them to the truth that they are never alone." It was a heavy commission, but it felt right. I had been given a glimpse of heaven, a taste of what was possible when souls walked in faith and love. I had seen the beauty of interconnectedness, the power of kindness, and the importance of every single life. Now, it was my turn to share that with the world. "Go back," Jesus said, "and live your truth. Spread the message of love, kindness, and faith. Remind others of the divine purpose they carry within them. Help them see the light that is already inside them, waiting to be awakened. Your journey is just beginning, Amelia." Though I was reluctant to leave heaven, I knew that my time had come to return. I understood that I had been prepared for this moment, that my experiences, struggles, and doubts had all led me to this point. I had been given the gift of knowing my divine mission, and now I had to live it out. As I took one last look at the radiant beauty of heaven, I felt a surge of love and gratitude. I knew that I would carry that love with me back into the world to fulfill the mission I had been called to. My heart was full, knowing that I was not alone in this journey, that I had Jesus by my side and the support of the divine light that would guide me every step of the way. It was time to return and spread the love, the hope, and the faith that would awaken others to their own divine purpose.